everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Makers with Heart collaboration. This month we are each taking a slimline thin cut and doing something creative with it. So I chose the Star Cluster thin cut and I'm going to make 3 cards for you. So let's get started. This is the thin cut. It's star clusters. And I'm going to use papers from Holly and Ivy, along with glitter papers and some of the mix-in plaids. I'm also going to use some stickers from Holly and Ivy. And then the stamp sets I'm going to use are the Holiday Special stamp set and For All Occasions for my sentiments. So I have added double-sided tape to the back of all my glitter. And then I have some craft foam and I put double-sided adhesive on both sides of my craft foam. And then later on, I'll be using some of the slimline foam and acetate. So I'm trimming down my patterned paper from Holly and Ivy to slimline card size, which is 3.5 by 8.5. And I'll show you the cutting of all of my supplies for my first card, and then I'll skip ahead for the other 2. So I'm taking this glitter paper. It's the Scarlet glitter paper, and it has that double-sided adhesive on the back of it. And I'm going to run it through my Big Shot, and it helps if you put it into your Big Shot kind of at an angle, like you see, just so that it has even pressure all throughout the die and cuts completely, because you're cutting through that thick glitter paper along with the double-sided adhesive. So it has a lot of layers to go through. So we'll get all that popped out. And that's my little glitter frame with all my stars. And now I'm going to center my star image or thin cut on this piece of patterned paper. And I'm centering it because it's going to be my card front. So I'm going to run that through. And instead of using the thin cut frame portion or the inside stars, I'm going to keep that negative piece. Okay, so I'm going to save the rest for something else. And now I'm going to run this craft foam through also with my thin cut. And that's going to have to go back and forth a few times because it's super thick and you want to make sure that it cuts completely. I'll get that all cut out, and then I'm going to use the frame portion once I get this run through. So I'm going to create kind of a star frame with craft foam that's sticky on both sides. Okay, so the base of my card is going to be this holly piece that's on a base of Harbor. It's a really pretty pattern. And I'm going to do this slimline as a landscape orientation for all 3 of my cards. So I'm going to put this pattern paper down first as my base, and then I'm going to lay this foam on top of it. So I'm going to remove that adhesive, the protective coating, and then stick this down. And then that's going to create my little frames for all of my shaker bits. Okay, so I'm going to use some of these loose gems in candy apple. I'm going to sprinkle a few in each of these openings of stars. And then I'm going to use some of these gold stars. They're glitter stars, or not glitter stars, but they're sparkly stars for shaker cards. Super cute. Okay, so now I've got my little shaker bits in all my stars, and then I'm going to remove the adhesive protective coating from the top of my craft foam. Okay, so we'll peel that off, and now that's the sticky is exposed. And then I'm going to lay my piece of clear acetate over the sticky foam. Okay, so now I have my little shaker set up there. All right, so now I'm going to add this frame that I've created out of the Holly and Ivy pattern paper. I'm just going to attach that with Tombow and stick that down on top. And then the last step is to add my scarlet glitter star frame. Okay, and then that will cover up all of that white foam that you can see through there. So again, it's a giant sticker. I'm just going to lay that down on top of everything. And that covers up all of the foam that you can see. Okay, so get that all pressed down, and then I have my shaker card. Okay, so now I'm going to add my sentiment. So I'm going to cut a piece of evergreen cardstock, and I'm going to white heat emboss my sentiment. So I have this stamp that says all is calm, all is bright, and I'm going to stamp that in Versamark ink. And then I'm going to sprinkle some white detail embossing powder on top. And then I'll heat it up with my heat tool and melt that embossing powder. Okay, so get that all melted. I love the way the white pops on dark colors. And then I'm going to trim this up and create a little banner out of this sentiment. So I'm just trimming around the sentiment and making sure everything is straight. And then I'll dovetail each end. So first I'll wipe off the anti-static powder, clean that up, and then just snip the ends to create a banner and dovetail it. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that with some thin foam tape as well. And I thought that was enough. So there's my first card. I love the way that glitter paper just sparkles, and those gems really do pop. It's the lighting is it's tricky to photograph. So, okay, let's make another card, and this time I'm going to use the plaids from the Mix-In collection. So I have everything all cut out, and I'm going to start assembling my card. So I have my slimline card base, and then I'm going to add the evergreen, and I'll just put that down with Tombow. And then I'm going to use this shaker foam and acetate, and this is for slimline cards. So just separate that frame from the base and leave the top covering on there so it's just sticky on the bottom. And then I'm going to attach that. So the inside foam bits, just save those for other projects because there's a ton of extra foam there. And you can use it for other cards. So you just separate, there's a protective coating on this acetate. So I'm just getting it started so that it'll be easy to peel off. And I'm going to sprinkle some little bits inside my card here. So the difference between this one and the other one is that the shaker bits can move around quite a lot. And so the other one, they're concentrated and they stay put within the stars. So it's really up to you which method you want to use. So I'm just adding a bunch of little bits in there, the stars and the little white beads and some gold sequins. And then I'll add my clear acetate and then remove that protective coating. And then I'll add this frame that I created with the plaid on top there. And then I'll add my evergreen glitter paper, and that too I had put some double-sided adhesive on it to create a sticker out of that as well. So I'm just removing the protective coating and so it's sticky, and then I'll lay everything down on top. Love the colors in this one, lots of fun. Okay, so I'm going to use this sticker from the Holly and Ivy sticker sheet, and I'm going to pop that with some foam tape. And then I'm going to add these little holly leaf stickers from Holly and Ivy as well. And there's my finished card. So much fun. That evergreen glitter paper pops so well. Love the way the star shaker, or the star cluster thin cut cuts it. Okay, so I have everything cut out for my third card, and this is Harbor cardstock, and I'm going to gold heat emboss the sentiment that says Merry Christmas. And this is from the For All Occasions stamp set. So I'm stamping that out in Versamark ink. And then I'll sprinkle it with gold embossing powder. And then I'll heat it up and melt that embossing powder. So this is directly to that overlay frame that I created with the Star Cluster thin cut. Okay, so now we can start assembling the card. So the base of the card is going to be that plaid piece from the Mix-Ins collection. Okay, so I have my slimline card base, and then I'll add the plaid with Tombow. And then I'm going to use this shaker foam and acetate that's for slimlines as well for this one. Okay, so we'll get that frame put down same way as the other one. And then I'll add all my little bits inside. I'm deciding what I want to put in there. So I'm going to use some of these red gems. And then I'll add some stars and some sequins. Just get all kinds of sparkle going on in there. You can use some bigger things in when you use this larger thin cut shaker frame. So I've added some of those sequins as well. And then I'll add my clear acetate and remove the protective coating. And then I'll add my overlay that I created, and then the Star Cluster thin cut piece that I created a giant sticker out of. We'll put that down. And then this is a sticker from Holly and Ivy, and off camera I decided to add a couple of little banners made out of some shimmer trim. I'll have some close-ups here just for a little added pop of that red. So if you click on the playlist here, you'll be able to find all of the videos that the Makers with Heart collaborative has put together using other slimline thin cuts. Lots of creative ideas. And I appreciate you watching my video today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. All of the supplies are currently available in my online store. I'll make a list with links in the description below. And thanks for watching.